will be speaking today about elevator safety. And we had some time to ponder that title, and because he's such a funny speaker with a good sense of humor, I was kind of wondering where our elevator safety would lead us today. I am so excited to introduce Saul Garcia as our first speaker. Please welcome Saul.
Thank you, Patty. I'd like to remind everyone that men, in general, are pretty dumb. 20-something-year-old men, even dumber. The 20-something-year-old men on a bachelor party in Las Vegas may deteriorate to the dumbest form of man on earth. 2 years ago, I was in a group of 9 guys and learned this firsthand. We were in Las Vegas for 3 days, Thursday through Saturday. And being such terrible planners, we had one thing planned on the agenda, and that was to make it to a 6 o'clock dinner reservation on Saturday night. We didn't even make it to that one thing because we managed to break a Planet Hollywood elevator and get stuck in there for 55 minutes while on the way to the restaurant. How did that happen? It was a series of mistakes, which we'll get to. Thinking about that experience made me realize that we don't talk enough about elevator safety, mainly because there's nothing to talk about. It's pretty basic, you get in and you get out. But when it goes wrong, it can be disastrous, especially when you have so many dumb guys out there who are pernicious. That's why I'm here to talk today about some do's and don'ts about elevator safety. Actually, they're just don'ts. I'm going to highlight the mistakes made by my particular group of deteriorated men, so you can be aware of potential pitfalls that may prevent you from making it from your floor to the lobby without incident. Let's start with lesson number 1, preventative measure. Do not enter an elevator after drinking for a consecutive 48 hours. I haven't seen any of these guys without a drink in their hand for the past 2 days since we checked into the hotel on Thursday. Judgment and motor skills were impaired, as evidenced by the slurred speech and the unnatural confidence everybody was walking around with. You know how prescription drugs tell you don't operate heavy machinery after taking them? Well, when you've consumed as much alcohol as was consumed in these 2 days, not even pressing the 1 button on the elevator is safe. At that point, make sure to take the stairs and avoid anything mechanical in any capacity. Speaking of capacity, let's roll right into lesson number 2. Another preventative measure: do not agitate the elevator when you exceeded the capacity limit. Altogether, with our group of 9, plus 6 innocent bystanders who were in the elevator when we got out, 15 people were on board this doomed elevator. It was well past the maximum weight capacity. For some reason, we executed what became the trademark routine during the trip, bouncing up and down in unison. It was something like this. 9 guys doing this. Ooh. It's pretty cool in a big group, so after the meeting we can try it if you want to see it. This poorly timed move, combined with the excess weight, caused the elevator to just stop. Lights started flickering, and it was just stuck. There was no opening the doors. There was nothing to do. We were in there for as long as someone came and rescued us. The lesson here is, whatever this is, don't do that on the elevator. Lesson 3 is for when you're already stuck. So we need to go over this to give you an idea of what to do when you're in there. Well, what to not do is, do not use the help button to yell at the hotel staff at the other end of the button. This is a corollary to the first lesson about not drinking before getting on. Out of frustration, one of the guys repeatedly pressed the help button to direct foul language at the hotel staff. I'm sure by the second time they delayed calling for help just to laugh at this guy more and more. Something that should have taken 20 minutes ended up taking 55. This behavior did not evince any goodwill with the hotel staff, and it led to a pretty awkward moment when we got off the elevator and had to see the hotel people in person. What can you say other than, hello? Just let the hotel staff do their job. They're trying to help you and don't need to be constantly reminded that the situation is a bleep, 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 bleep. Lesson number 4 is advice for when you are helped off the elevator. Don't act innocent and offended when you're finally let out. When the fire department came to help us out, we all tried acting as if it was all just a simple product of bad luck. No blood, no foul. We're off to the Vegas night. See you guys later. The hotel informed us that we were liable for $300 in damages, as they had seen the whole thing through the elevator's camera. Hard to argue, his camera worked. Considering we had 9 guys, a per person bill would have been $33. The price of about 1.75 drinks in Las Vegas. But the stupidity was at an all-time high. Guys were acting indignant, offended. How dare you charge me $33 just so we can stay in our hotel room? We were told it was either pay up or leave. Nobody wanted to pay. We were essentially kicked out of the hotel room for the last night on our trip, or the last night of our trip. Lesson 4 is get off, humbly apologize to the staff, and pay the $33. The result of all these mistakes was we ended up eating hot dogs at a food court instead of the steakhouse we were going to. And with no hotel room, we were forced to stay out on the Las Vegas Strip all night before heading home at sunup. A bonus tip, don't make the drive from Las Vegas to Reno on 0 hours of sleep. Pretty brutal. So there you have it, a series of mistakes that led to a broken down elevator. Until then, I thought these things only broke down in romantic comedies. But having been stuck in there with 8 guys, there's nothing romantic about a broken elevator. So I hope you'll learn from our mistakes when getting into elevators in the future. Keep these things in mind, and if you ever get stuck in one, do not act like a 20-something-year-old male on a Las Vegas bachelor party. Thank you.